it can only be different because you have been there, which
Yes.
is so interesting because it also brings us back to the holistic way we are. Because let's take a certain situation we're in. We're facing something and it's up to us to make a decision.
Hmm.
And usually because we are trained this way, or most of us in our society are, to think it through, to make an
Hmm.
analytical decision, to go like, what could this be? And the interesting thing is, although we might have made the decision on a purely mental level, the experience happens not only on the mental, but very much on the emotional and the
Hmm.
physical level.
Yes. It's true. It's true because at the end, it's the experiencing that shows us what is reality for us, no? And that's why, for me, it's always when we are learning or growing, it's exploring, experiencing, and practicing, no? Because experience is what we integrate through experience. So, like you're saying, our mental is taking in what we experienced, not the thoughts I had before. No, they might have vanished because I'm having experience, and the experience, the one that impregnates
Yeah.
everything else. So it's so nice to have you here, Laura. Yeah, finally.
Thank you so much for being with you today. We've been planning this for what, more than a year.
Yes, we might say. And today we're both pink. Well, a little bit in my case. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're already connecting to the higher realms, right?
Yes, yes. I love so much to have you here,
Yeah.
co-creating with me today, enjoying some time together. And mostly because, well, like you were saying, we were planning it already for 1 year. And we spoke of, yeah, 1 year ago or so, we spoke.
Yeah,
And
it's
you
quite a
had
while. Yeah.
you did when you had your workshop,
Right. The event that I'm doing every
the
year,
event.
Wake Up Leadership Day. Yes.
Yes, no. So yes, I wasn't able to make it. It was in Switzerland, but it was so nice to speak to you. And I always remember we both connecting very well and being very much aligned. And the name of the event says it all. Huh?
It is true. And
Yes.
by the way, if you're up to it, 27th of June.
Ah, you see, I knew it was coming up. So as we said, we spoke about 1 year ago. It must be around this time, yes. 26th of June. Okay. And you do that, it's one day, the whole day, no?
It's one day, it's the entire day. It's leaders from upper and highest management levels coming together, co-creating entrepreneurs. And we are also always having speakers from very interesting realms who look at the topic of leadership in a holistic way. So, what does that mean to me?
Mhm.
Holistic to me is body, mind, soul, basically everything we are as people, as humans.
Yeah.
Because even when we go to work, we are still humans.
Yes.
We might be fulfilling a role, we might be a husband at home, or a wife, or a mother, a father, or someone who runs a meeting, or someone who plans something for their kids, or whatever, but still we're always humans. So we are in this body that needs to be filled with life energy in order to
Mhm.
be healthy and glowing and sparkling and vibrating and creative and innovative.
Mhm. Mhm.
And those words, I mean, these are so massive buzzwords in the corporate company world, but what do they mean? I mean, what is innovation? What is creation? And all this comes from our sparking as a human, as a soul, as a spirit, and in this body with our emotions, with everything that we are. And personally, when someone says, I'm just such a rational boss. I'm just a rational leader, and there's no emotion in my way, in my decisions. It's banana land
Yeah.
because there are always emotions. And
Yes.
of course, there's one thing how we handle emotions.
Hmm.
That's a totally different thing from saying there are no emotions involved because there are. And marketing proves this to the highest point. I mean, the whole
Hmm.
story and worth of marketing builds on emotional connection between business and consumer.
Yes.
So don't tell me there are no emotions in business. It's not true.
Even if you say no because I am saying like this and that, that's an emotion.
Exactly. Exactly.
So there's always an emotion around it.
Yes, that is so true. Way to go.
So you cannot avoid it, no?
Yeah.
Yes, and I like the part of innovation and creation because I always say, well, uniqueness. No, we all are unique, and our leadership comes through our uniqueness, and there cannot be innovation without uniqueness.
That is true. Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
as the most we let it, the more we shine, the more innovation there is and the more creativity there is, because when there is innovation there's creativity, no, and when there is creativity through our uniqueness there's innovation.
Yes, it all connects, absolutely. And I would even want to add, the more alive we are,
Hmm.
the more
Yes,
creative we can be. And
yes.
when are we alive? And so the whole thing reconnects in itself, and it kind of sparks each other the whole way long. And this entire talk about value chain in business, we can take this back to us as people, because we are the greatest value chain
Hmm.
ourselves.
Hmm.
And when we start to take care of that value chain, which is not entirely physical, but also psychological and spiritual in a sense. And I want to say something to that in a second.
Uh-huh.
If we take care of that, then we become alive to the absolute maximum that we are able to in this very moment. And that changes again and again.
Yes.
We don't take care, well, we always kind of lack something that we could be, which would be a
Hmm.
shame. Yeah.
Hmm.
What I
Very
wanted to
true.
say when it comes to spirit is that, because so many people go like, oh, spirit, soul, oh, these are no business terms. What is this? I mean, well,
Yeah,
esoteric, be careful. Yeah.
yeah,
And I love it when they say this.
yeah.
What does spirit mean? What is spiritus? Yeah. It just means the mental realm. There is something mental, something higher, something that we cannot physically refer to.
Hmm.
And we all have this, because otherwise we couldn't think.
Yeah.
So everyone who thinks, sorry, you guys, you're all spiritual. That's
Yeah.
the one thing. And the other one with esoteric. I mean, what does
Mm-hmm.
esoteric mean? It just means from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It doesn't mean you are sitting with smudging or you're doing voodoo. No. And you don't even have to pull cards or do anything. But to be honest, we are all as esoteric as we are spiritual, because there is so much that comes from our inside and manifests or shows in the outside. And I don't know anyone personally who doesn't do that. Do you?
No, I don't. I recognize everyone from who they are, which is from the inside out, even if they don't recognize themselves.
Good point again, Janet.
No, I mean because many just live
Mm.
outside in, and they don't recognize that they have an insight that it's so huge and so potential, and but they have it. They have it.
We all,
Everyone has it.
yes. And we all have the chance to take it to wherever next level we want it to be. And it doesn't need to be like quantum jumps immediately.
Mm-mm.
It can exist, but it's not for everyone, and it's certainly not at every point in time. Otherwise, we'd be a lot further down the line already. And yet, I guess we are where we are supposed to be to go
Mm.
through the developments we need to experience, and also giving us a chance to immerse into what it is that we, as a personality, as a body, as a soul, as a spirit, as whatever you want to call it, can access to in this very
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever we want to do with it, with our environment, with the people we surround ourselves, but also just with ourselves. It does not always need to be an evolution that touches the direct environment. I mean, it automatically does in a certain way, because most of us are not hermits living
Yeah.
so totally secluded. So we always touch the lives of others with our life, when we go outside, right? And that can also be our pets, our children, or whatever. I mean, it doesn't really not matter. It is, I think, about becoming aware of how much potential is alive in whatever we do, in whatever we say, and in however we are.
Mm-hmm. Very important.
Yeah.
However we are. It's this, like what you were saying before, no? Everyone is in their moment as who they are in the moment.
Mm.
So it's for everyone to choose what to do with that, no? With who they are. And it's for us to respect it, and we respect it as we respect ourselves. No, when we align to who we are, we respect and value everyone else because we know everyone else is in their moment.
Yes.
No? So no one above, no one below, nothing. Everyone has their moments. Everyone has their path. Everyone has their own way of living.
I
And
fully agree. And I think it's important to realize that we are the ones who are choosing
yeah.
and choosing every moment anew. So sometimes a certain timing might no longer feel right.
Mm-hmm.
It may no longer feel good to be with a certain state or a certain
Mm-hmm.
person or a certain environment, a certain, I don't know, a certain dress code, a certain corporate language, a certain way of being. And that is the moment when we actively decide to grow into a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there's necessarily a right or wrong. It's more, I choose to evolve into this direction or that one.
Yeah.
And who are we to judge
Mm-hmm.
what is right for whom? I mean, sometimes we know that the reasoning behind taking a decision might have been not the, let's call it the highest, you
Yeah.
know. But then again, I'm absolutely convinced that we are presented with another opportunity to decide again because we needed to make that very experience that we went through. And that can be a job, a partnership, a marriage, whatever. It can be anything we allow to be to
Mm-hmm.
take us.
Yes, and then it has happened to me that many times I'm realizing I've been already there.
Know that one.
But with everything that I have experienced before, and the many times I've been through it, so when you realize that, you say, okay, now I understand why I'm here, because last time it was like this and so, and now I have all this knowing with me, and this time the choice I'm making is different.
Yes,
But I've been here, no, and it's nice. It's this, I call it the spiral, no, of positive impact,
absolutely. Yeah.
because it's you passing through the same point, but with many more experiences, more knowing that, well, the moment is different. So the moment is different. It means the choice can be different.
Oh, of course, and it can only be different because you have been there, which
Yes.
is so interesting because it also brings us back to the holistic way we are. Because let's take a certain situation we're in. We're facing something and it's up to us to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And usually because we are trained this way, or most of us in our society are, to think it through, to make an
Mm-hmm.
analytical decision to go like, what could this be if I do this? This could be scenario A, or this is B, or plus minus, whatever you do. And then we make a decision. And then we experience the consequence, the result of
Mm-hmm.
the decision. And the interesting thing is, although we might have made the decision on a purely mental level, the experience happens not only on the mental, but very much on the emotional and the
Mm-hmm.
physical level. So those two join the decision maker, and in the next round, best case, the mental decision maker remembers those two and
Yes.
how that was, and they go like, "Oh, maybe we're gonna take this decision together."
This time. Yes. It's true. It's true because at the end, it's the experiencing that shows us what is reality for us, no? And that's why, for me, it's always when we are learning or growing, it's exploring, experiencing, and practicing, no? because experience is what we integrate through experience. So like you're saying, our mental is taking in what we experienced, not the thoughts I had before. No, they might have vanished because I'm having experience, and the experience, the one that impregnates
Yeah.
everything else.
Right, right. And I mean, many of us might have heard this, the saying or the word, like you got to put your heart or your soul in the driver's seat, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, this is like a caricature when you think like in those spires that you have described, and also with me just saying that the mental one takes the first decision and so on. And probably sometime the soul in this car is just fed up or whatever you want to call it, higher knowing, and it's kind of like, all right, guys, we've made decisions. Body has decided, heart has decided, we've had the drama, we've had it all, we've had the mental brain fog, we've had it all right, are you done yet? Are you willing to cooperate, or do I just need to take the driver's seat and just do it? And I those moments are those I don't know, those leaps or these quantum leaps or jumps or whatever that pull you into
Mm-hmm.
the unknown or and totally out of your comfort zone, because there is a point in your life where you've reached satisfaction with banana land decisions.
Yes.
Or a certain part of you at least has. And it doesn't matter. With some people, they're 5 years old and this happens. Others are 95 and it happens. And I don't know. I think we all have our timing. And yet we all have a choice to decide how awake we want to be to this timing.
Mm-hmm. 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 And that's the awareness,
Yeah. Consciousness.
no? The consciousness
So when we
to
see something in our emails, it's consciousness calling.
yes, maybe. But yes, it's the well, and the willingness, no? Like you were saying, the willingness and the commitment to open your eyes through your
Yes.
heart
Yeah.
and see things differently.
Absolutely. I mean, every moment can be another one, and stepping into the perspective we choose changes it. And it is
Mm-hmm.
us who do this. I think that's the part we need to be very clear about. It's free will. And free will is a certain awareness that is, of course, bound to the level of consciousness. But you can always decide to want to access a higher realm or higher level of consciousness, without judging those levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are children that are so much wiser than many adults, and
Yeah.
the other way around too. So I think just embracing the fact that we have choice to walk a certain path. And that does not mean that we need to know the path, or that we need to know how steep it is or how pleasant or how scary sometimes. It's becoming aware of every day I move if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
I also can stop.
Mm-hmm.
And that might also be very beneficial sometimes to rest and to
Mm-hmm.
realize, where am I actually standing?
Mm-hmm.
And not just, going like, I'm forward, la la
No,
la
no,
la.
no, and that also has happened to me many times. That you think you must be walking, you must be doing, you go, and then you go against the wall. But you continue thinking that you have to continue, and you go against the wall until one day you say, okay. Again, that's the spiral also, that it's going against the wall. You say, okay, there's something here for me to learn because I've been here and I've been against the wall many times. So it's really to become aware, no? And to stop and to know from there. And I've learned to know that the important is to be, and to be in the moment. And sometimes being doesn't have to be doing. So relaxing, being calm, I don't know, walking, reading, sleeping, but listening to your
Yeah.
insight. And that's when the best ideas come. When you tap into this silence, into this patience, into this trust, and then you become innovative, you become creative,
Mm.
because you're responding to something that came into your mind because you weren't thinking and searching for something that is not for you to search. It has to come to you, no? And it comes to you when you relax and you are
Yes.
patient and trust.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think to bringing like a scientific perspective,
Mm-hmm. Nice.
many people need this or want this, and it's part of the game too. And the truth, whatever
Yeah,
truth,
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
is that our brain operates in patterns in order to maintain our body. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we could not, think, eat, digest at the same time and all of this. Yeah. So we have all this incredible smart body of us that does all this pattern work because based on patterns, it can facilitate processes and save life energy. And that's what keeps us running. So every decision we make is a result of a pattern that we have either thought through, experienced, or lived through. And what you said, the stopping, the bringing a moment of halt to all this is the only chance for our brains to rewire in terms of breaking the pattern interrupt, and
Mm-hmm.
saying, okay, this all has taken me here, and those patterns, as long as I keep on repeating them, they will bring me to similar experiences. If I actively decide, consciously decide, I might be interested in a variation of the experience or maybe a totally different one, I need to break a pattern. And breaking a pattern means I need to make space for this. And in order to make space for it, I need to realize when it happens. And I cannot realize it when I keep on repeating the same pattern over and over and over. It's like someone who's always walked a pace at 7 kilometers an hour has decided they want to go at 11 kilometers an hour now. And if you keep running 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, you are so into that rhythm of breathing, of oxygen flowing through your brain that you could not maintain the steady level of the 11 if you just immediately jumped into it. And the other way around too, you go at
Mm-hmm.
7 and you decide it might be very healthy for you to go at 4 kilometers per hour. But you cannot just hold and go, okay, now 7 down to 4. It doesn't work. You would need to stop first. And sometimes stopping can be very, very instant, like
Mm-hmm.
really coming to a halt. Sometimes you really hit that wall that you've spoken of, and you really have to stop because the consequences are horrible if you don't. But sometimes it's also realizing that you might take a different pace, and it slowly comes to that. It doesn't matter whether it's an acceleration or getting slower, but realizing that you can only change when you do include your physical body in that change, into that breaking habit in a certain way, and coming to a conscious close of what has been. And that doesn't need to mean, like meditating for days or whatever. It can just
Mm-hmm.
be that famous second of, uh-huh,
Mm-hmm.
uh-huh,
Mm-hmm.
whatever just changed. I suddenly have access to a different way of looking at something.
Yeah.
Or I just have the notion of an idea that this feels better than that. And this can be business or private, whatever, it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
matter. It's basically every breath is a new life. Because if we had memory, if we didn't have our memory, we'd do that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it can be, I think it's sometimes it's a great, fascinating adventure. If you just imagine, what if? What if you lost your memory today? And you are still you, but you don't remember all the things that you've done before. And more importantly, you don't remember how you've done things before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because this might mean that we would all of a sudden, the simplest thing, maybe you would just, brush your teeth with the left hand. Go like, ooh, that's interesting. I always used to use the right one because I used the right one. No other explanation.
Yeah.
Or you would all of a sudden not have this mobile phone routine anymore because you go like, I wake up and I see the sunshine. Oh, of course I go outside. And these are
Mm-hmm.
just like really simple examples. I mean, there is
Yeah,
so much
yeah.
complexity to this, but what if? What if you didn't remember how everything went wrong? What if you did not remember all the bad feelings? What if you don't remember that you haven't made it yet? What if you didn't remember how that guy broke your heart or how you had an argument with him or her last night? What if you didn't remember? What if you just came to the now with everything that you are right now and with everything that you are not and that you're just carrying with you, but it's not you. And we are carrying so much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That it would be good not to remember so many things that are not us, yes, that we are
Yeah,
unlearning. Yeah.
it is true. I mean, I have this is something I could actually not I think I'm not sure what answer I would give you if you asked me, do you want me to push the button? Like the delete memory. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
Mm-hmm.
mean this in a pathetic way.
No,
It's been
no,
a
no,
concept
no.
I've been discussing with some people in the past years because, of course, I treasure my memories,
Mm-hmm.
but not because they necessarily serve me in creating today,
Mm-mm.
but because they have remembered me of who I can be.
Yeah, who you are, yeah.
And if I would not remember all this, I guess, although, doing a lot of work within the realm of consciousness and leadership and all this, I would probably be more aware. I'd be more present and I'd be freer and less judging because we all do judge because
Mm-hmm.
that's a safety mechanism in us as people.
Yes.
And
Humans,
so
yeah.
it's a crazy question, I guess.
Mm. I would say one thing, it's not that I'm losing memory, but one thing that I've been seeing that the more I live in the present and really being and enjoying, the more I forget certain things of the past. Let's say I have friends of mine and that I love, and they come and they say, Jeannette, do you remember when we went? I don't know where. And I'm like, no. But it doesn't mean I carry the experience with me
I
because
understand.
I've been there. But
Yeah.
maybe that moment wasn't I took the experience and I don't have to remember with the mind.
I think the way I would describe it is that your body does not necessitate to use energy to run the memory
Yeah.
because it has been integrated in the now. And
Yes.
that's why it might drop the frame, the structure of the pictures or whatever it is. And I mean, of course, we really have to differentiate here between people who are
Yeah.
really suffering memory loss. I know it's not
No,
you.
no, 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 me.
And but I know what you mean. And this coming to a present moment, I think, is something that is so much more than many people just, they just say it. They go like, oh, you
Hmm.
just need to be present and you just come all here to the now. But what does that mean? It means you gotta drop the past.
Hmm.
And that's a big one.
You got to drop the past and the future,
True.
control the future. You don't really care of what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
You embrace it. Yeah, it's the past and the
Yes.
future.
Yeah. Yeah. And that means letting. Yeah.
Yes.
And only when we let go, there's a space, like
Hmm.
total space and freedom. And that's freaking scary. I mean, to me, that's freaking scary. I'm fully
Yes.
admitting that this is scary. And yeah,
Yes.
in certain parts, I like it too. So, all this discussion about, oh, yeah, wow, that's so much. Well, it's freaking scary too. Yeah. So we can just say it and it's okay. I mean, so often all those wise people, they report from with hindsight, right? It's not like they are in the situation usually or at the beginning of their wisdom, and then they
Hmm.
go, I'm totally cool with it. It's so present to me being imprisoned right now. That is totally okay with me. Yeah, okay, wow. Maybe there's a little part of them that they're super wise, but maybe they're shit scared a little bit too. And that's human. And I think to bring back also humanness into this conscious experience of a spirit in a body,
Hmm.
let's call it what it is. It's
Hmm.
quite something. And it means we are stretching. beyond identity. We are stretching beyond form. We are bridging through not only form, but also through dimensions by being human. I
Yeah.
mean, wow.
Yeah.
That's absolutely unthinkable in a certain way. And yet we are all doing it just
Mm-hmm.
by being and think we got to do so many things in addition. And yeah, maybe I think we don't. Maybe we just have to be a bit cooler with some stuff and
Yeah.
allow. Of course, we need to do some stuff in life. That's life too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And
remember,
yeah, and creating is doing, and being is doing also in
yeah,
a certain way.
yeah,
So it's, in reality, it's, well, yeah, it's being, and but it's not so much worrying. The problem is when we put so much mind into the future or the past, and that's when we forget about the enjoying the moment
mm,
and, or listening with the heart,
yeah,
being here, not and not thinking what happened today or what's going to happen in the future today. For instance, when I'm here with you, I'm listening to you and I'm enjoying this and I'm integrating this experience and your words. And I'm not
mm,
worrying, no. And I sometimes when I speak to people and I see them so worried about things, how people could think of something, and you say, no, don't worry, you cannot control it anyhow, and it will be as it will be. It's your mind that is playing your games. At the end, things never happen as you think. So why are you losing time in something that it's not taking you away what you have today now?
right. I think 99% of what we worry about is never happening. I think we
No,
know this by now.
no,
We
it's
we might just
incredible.
remind ourselves.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's also, I mean, it seems easy to speak about it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And yet it's a form of re-embracing it every day. And personally, I'm reminding myself of this as soon and as often as I can, because I'm not entirely in that state. I'm not free of it either. I do worry sometimes, and
Mhm, mhm.
certain things um, are catalysts to worrying. And our world is full of it. And I think that's something we also can say that by actively choosing our environments, the societies we live in, we also admit to a certain um, way of interacting with consciousness, but also with worry. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because we are still living,
Mhm.
unfortunately, but I'm saying still, so because we're working on this, right? In a society, in a world where that is made of fear in a certain way, that is
Yeah.
controlled by fear and lack.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
of course, there are many who are not living in fear and not in lack, and the topic has come to greater attention of the masses, which is fantastic. And yet, most people go from "Do I make it?" to "Do I make it again?" And that's not flowing, that's not abundant, that's not lack. I mean, it's not, it's not
Mhm.
like lacking,
Yeah.
sorry. And this morning, when I opened my mailbox, there was this letter from the financial authorities, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
not
I hate it.
helping my energy right now. So I mean, and that's human too. It's because
Yes.
because I have decided to live in a society that is like it is, and there's so many benefits to it. This is part of it. So
Mhm.
we could say by choosing our environment, we choose also how we want to grow, right? So obviously, I chose to deal also with paying taxes, right?
Mhm. Yeah, me too, in a certain way.
And I also choose
Like,
to live in a city that is not, not cheap. Okay,
yeah.
I'm part of the game then, but it's my game.
Mhm.
I'm not complaining about it because I chose it,
You
and I know that.
chose it. Yeah. Yes.
That doesn't mean I'm not free of worries or that there are no moments of where I go like, "Oh, shit, yeah. But then I go like, okay, I've chosen this. So how do I make it better?
Mhm.
What can I do to have more relaxation, to be more relaxed with the situation? that I have chosen.
Yes.
And that takes back responsibility to me because I choose to claim it.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever I claim, I can handle. Otherwise, I need to drop it, which is
Mm-hmm.
also a choice, which is also cool. I mean, I could say like, okay, it doesn't work for me, it gives me too much worry, if I'm honest. I've tried X, Y, Z. I can't handle it, don't want to handle it, or it's physically or emotionally or psychologically harming. Okay, that's also a great like a great insight. So I drop it. So I move, I don't know, to the Czech
So
countryside.
yeah. Yeah.
Why not? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that could be beautiful too.
Mm-hmm.
If that's right for me, that's where my soulmate waits or whatever. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
need to listen to those little things. And one thing that is really dear to my heart within the topics we're speaking about is failure.
Mm-hmm.
Because what does that mean? By what standards do we fail? By
Yeah.
who has defined failure
Failure.
as such?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our head that defines it, nothing else.
Yes, and our
Because
ego.
the ego, yeah, it's because it can be failure for me, or it's not for you. At the end, for me, failure is nowadays not there
Yeah.
in my mindset,
Yeah.
because everything is to learn from.
Yeah.
So whatever I thought it's a failure, at the end it's thinking, why is my failure? I put it in the box of failure because no one else put it there. It's me. So I can take it out and say, look, this wasn't a failure. This was a learning experience that is growing you even stronger. So,
Mhm.
no?
And learning only happens to the degree that we can integrate it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we understand that a lot later, sometimes maybe never consciously, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever the part of us that needed to have the
Yeah.
experience. And sometimes maybe it's just like crazy life, and we don't need to, and like actively go like, oh, where's that learning in this shit experience that I just had? I think sometimes just a shit experience too.
Yeah. And that's because many times it's also, it's not to put the analytical mind in everything.
Mm,
It's just the integration of the experience that it matters, no?
yes,
And embracing it, and that's it.
totally with you on this one.
Well, thank you so much. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I love you. And I hope to see you soon, one day, because you're not far away from me. So,
No, you're actually
and sometimes I go there where you are once in a while. So I
the next
should.
time. And it was my real pleasure. I mean, let's keep in touch and please let me know anytime when you're in Zurich. I mean,
Yes, I will. I will. I will.
big hug,
Thank
my love.
you.
Bye